everyone, my name is Parsa. Welcome back to the Chocolate Secrets YouTube channel. Tonight we're going to be making eggnog. So these are the ingredients we've got. We've got nutmeg, vanilla, cinnamon, granulated sugar, heavy cream, and whole milk. We've also got 6 eggs. So to start off, we're going to be putting the eggs in this bowl and our milk and heavy cream on here. We're going to keep it hot but not to a boil. With the eggs, we're going to be adding the sugar slowly to make sure that we don't get any of that graininess in there. And we're also going to be adding these spices to this milk. And then in the end, we'll combine everything together and hopefully it'll be really good eggnog. To start, we're going to do 2 whole eggs in the bowl. So get those going. And then for the remaining 4 eggs, we're going to be separating the yolks. So just do that, try to break it in the middle, split it in half, and separate the yolk. I learned this on Cooking Mama, actually, I'm not gonna lie. So I'm putting the egg yolks in a separate bowl, then I'm gonna add that back into the other bowl with the other egg. Oh God. It's okay if yours is really messy and your egg yolks break in the bowl. That's also fine. As long as it's separated, nobody's gonna know. You don't wanna get any eggshells in there though. Nobody wants to chew on their eggnog. So now that we've separated all of our yolk, we're gonna add it back into the 2 eggs that we cracked earlier. All right, so little scientific fact. We separated the yolks because we wanna keep the fat content from the yolk and it's gonna give it that nice creamy texture. We're wanting to keep the egg whites in here because the protein is gonna help keep everything together. The yolks are gonna be on the fat side, so we're gonna need that butteriness, but the egg whites are gonna keep everything in place. So then you just slowly start to whisk it. You want the color to be slightly lighter, but you don't want to overbeat it because we're going to be adding sugar and slowly beating it still, so you don't want to over whisk the mixture. You can use an electric beater, but I like to do it the old-fashioned way. If you put a little sweat into it, I think it tastes better. So we've got 1 cup of sugar. We're going to slowly add that in there, about 1 to 2 tablespoons at a time, while whisking this together. You want to make sure that it's completely mixed in so that you don't get any of that graininess. Kind of wishing I had an electric beater right now. My arm was really hurting. It was arm day today, so story time. I grew up in a lot of choirs and that required me to go to a lot of church. So I've always loved Christmas time. However, my family is Muslim. And when I was little, all my friends would have all their Christmas trees and whatnot. And my mom is African, so she didn't really understand like the Christmas tree thing, but she loved me so much that she bought me a Christmas tree so that I wouldn't feel left out. So now I have the same Christmas tree. I actually just set it up the other day. I've had it for like almost 12 years now. It's a fake tree, but it's a nice tree, so I'm very grateful for that. Okay, so the next step is to heat up your heavy cream and whole milk. I learned from my good friend Renee. Check out her mulled wine and pumpkin pie video in the thingy below. So I'm gonna set this to 5 because like I said, we want the milk to be hot, but we do not want it to boil. So I've got about 2 cups of milk here. I'm gonna add about a cup of the heavy cream because we wanna keep it thick and we wanna get that protein up. So go for it. And once this is at a good temperature, we're gonna start to add the spices so we can get the flavor going too. Okay, measure with your heart. That looks pretty good to me. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw the spices in there. Nutmeg is a pretty powerful spice, I've heard, so I'm gonna do this lightly. All right, so now we're gonna split the vanilla bean. Let's push everything to the side. Okay. All right, so the key to this is to try and get it as flat as possible and then slit it right down the middle as slowly as you can so you can really stay in control of the knife. If you're like me and you have small hands, this might be a little difficult for you. So try and grab your knife like this, wrap your index finger around it so that you have the most control that you can get. And you want your thumb balancing on the other side, like that. So. All right, I feel myself drifting, so I'm gonna stop and realign myself so I don't mess this up. The one good thing about vanilla bean is that it's a very, very strong flavor. So if you don't get all the way to the end, it's fine. You don't want to cut your thumb over it. So yeah, this is how mine is looking right now. We're gonna push the seeds out using the back end and try to get as much of that as you can. I think I got a pretty good amount actually. Okay, so this is my vanilla bean. We're gonna tap this into the mixture and then go ahead and throw your whole vanilla bean carcass into the pot. Vanilla is a pretty expensive spice, but thankfully it's also a very strong one, so you're only really gonna need the one strand, and that should be enough. If you don't have vanilla bean, it is completely okay to use vanilla extract. I would use about a teaspoon. Like I said, measure with your heart. Okay, so we're gonna add some cinnamon in here as well. If you're like me, you really like cinnamon, so you grab the absolute fattest piece in the box. So we're gonna throw that in there. And yeah, so we're just gonna let this get hot, let it mix together, and then we're gonna slowly incorporate the eggs into this. All right, so I might have been a little overly cautious earlier. I am gonna turn this up just by 1 number, just so we can get it going a little bit. Once this is done, we're gonna turn it off and add it back into this egg mixture, but we wanna make sure it's not too hot, like I said earlier, because we don't want the eggs to start cooking, especially with all that yolk in there. All right, I'm not sure if you can see, but there is a little steam coming up and we had one lonesome bubble, so we're gonna turn it off and add it back into the eggs. So let's get this whisk going. We're gonna keep whisking it while we're adding our milk mixture into here. So we're gonna whisk this and slowly add the hot milk mixture for as long as you want. I'm having one of those moments like when you're trying to pat your head and rub your stomach because I'm trying to move this ladle in the milk. Okay. There's probably a way more elegant way to do this. I feel like I'm grabbing this ladle like a 4-year-old child, but you know, do you. Be yourself at the end of the day. Oh, so being in choir, I had to do a lot of breakfast with Santa appearances at the mall right next door to this shop. But that meant being there at 6 a.m. on a Saturday and trying to remember all the words to the 12 Days of Christmas. I still can't recite that to this day. I know 5 golden rings though, for sure. So thankfully we see that the milk was at the right temperature because our eggs aren't looking any type of scrambled. So that's a win. Okay, so that is plenty mixed up in here. We're gonna put this pot back on the heat. We're gonna try and keep this heat at a medium-low temperature. Again, we're not trying to cook the eggs, but now that we've got a good amount of it already mixed in here, we can add it back into the pot and whisk from there. Just want to make sure it's nice and thick and creamy. You'll know it's done when it can stick to the back of a metal spoon. And in case you haven't noticed, this is a non-alcoholic eggnog, keeping it kid-friendly, keeping it PG. I know some of you may see it as a con that we don't have alcohol, but actually it helps keep the flavors balanced in here. And since we added those egg whites earlier, it's gonna keep everything combined the same way that the alcohol would have. And with this constant stirring, it's gonna make sure that this stays at that thick and creamy consistency without the use of alcohol. All right, so now that it's at a nice and thick consistency, we took it off the heat and we're gonna chill it in the fridge because you do not wanna be drinking hot eggnog. So we're gonna chill it and then we're gonna set it up in some nice fancy glasses for you guys. So we're gonna try and get this plastic wrap real close to the top of this eggnog mixture because we do not want it to oxidize while it's in the fridge. All right, so we're gonna let that sit in the fridge until it's nice and chilled. So depending on your fridge, I don't know, we've got some nice fridges here, so maybe like an hour to 2 hours. While that's sitting in there, you can start to clean up and set up your glasses for serving. All right, so while we're letting the eggnog get to its final stages of the chilling process, we're gonna set up the glasses for serving. This is my favorite part because you can be as extra with this as you want. Obviously, this is a chocolate shop, so we're gonna start with the fudge. So, you want to get the glass at an angle, you want to get the fudge at an angle, and then just drip in there. We make our fudge in-house, so it's extra yum. Click the link at the bottom for the hot fudge recipe. So now that the chocolate glass is done, we're going to do one with cinnamon and brown sugar. I literally just mixed cinnamon and brown sugar in here. Got a little water in this plate, So we're gonna get the rim a little wet on this glass. Pour your cinnamon and brown sugar on a plate, and then evenly distribute, and then try to get that on your rim. I am no bartender, so not the best at this, but I'm trying. Like so. So we're gonna do the same thing with our peppermint, because why not, you know, have fun with it. Do it however you want to do it. So obviously the last step is filling these glasses with our eggnog. Oh my God, look, the eggnog is back. So we're gonna pour it into these 2 glasses. All right, so y'all know me. I like to be extra and make my own stuff. Today we are using store-bought Ready Whip. It's okay. All right, so you can decorate these however you want. Personally, we have these little chocolate roll-ups, so I'm gonna add some in here. Make it cute little thingy. If you want to take some of your leftover peppermint and you can sprinkle that on top. Just have fun with it, do what you want. Make it look all cute. I'm gonna add some chocolate on this one again. So the reason why we're using the good old-fashioned Ready Whip today is because we have our own little whipping machine that we are gonna pour our eggnog mixture into. So first things first, we do have to fill this up. On the bottle, it does say max line, so that's what I'm watching for. And no, I did not spill earlier because there's obviously nothing here anymore. So then we're gonna close it. Okay, so we're gonna open up this part that we just found out is called a dispenser. So we're gonna grab the charger, we're gonna put it in rounded side down, and then there's like that little pointy thing there, like the negative positive of a battery. We're gonna twist it back on there. Gonna flip it, maybe a couple times, and then let it sit for a minute or 2. Voila, a minute has passed. So we're gonna open this back up. We're gonna use 2 of the charges, not 1, but 2, because we wanna make this super, super fun. Okay, flip it. And then wait another minute or 2. All right, as you can see, the consistency of this one is completely different than this one. It's gonna be more frothed up with the little bubbles. This one's gonna be more of like that thick eggnog cream that we all know and love. But I think I'm gonna go with this one. It is not whipped cream, it is eggnog in a whipped cream jar, so it is whipped eggnog. Okay, that went really well. So now we're gonna garnish it, because why not? So I cut it in half and I cut a little slit so that I can fit it on the glass. All right, now we're gonna add a cinnamon stick that may or may not stay. Oh, yay, we did it! Okay. All right, as much as I would like to, I definitely cannot drink 3 glasses of eggnog by myself. So I'm inviting my lovely coworkers / co-stars to help me finish out the eggnog. Woo! Hello, hello Jasmine. Hello Southern, AKA camera guy.
Hello, hello.
This looks so good.
Thank you so much.
You made this just for
I
us?
did make it just for you guys because y'all are so special to me, and I just love you guys.
Is it Christmas already?
It is. It is officially Christmas time. And y'all tell me how amazing it is when you're done.
Okay, I'll lie to you.
Oh my God.
Oh, wow.
This is actually amazing.
really
Holy
good.
crap. I knew that though, like obviously.
Wow, this is really good.
Wow. Wow.
I actually might want all 3 glasses, y'all. Give it up. It's done.
You earned it.
I'll keep drinking it.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers. Woo.
Happy holidays.
Yes. As you can see, we absolutely destroyed that. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe. Let us know if you want us to do any other videos. Again, my name is Parsa, and hope you have a great night. And please make my eggnog because it was so good.